Hi, everyone. Happy Monday to you. I cannot believe, Buva, we're only a couple days away from the Emerald Summit. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very excited, very nervous. So there's a lot of focus and attention. So really hoping to have a great day that day.
It's going to be a wonderful day that day. And I know over the last couple of weeks we've been talking about Emerald Summit, but I know we have several new people that's here that's watching. So without further ado, my name is Tia Green Granger. I run Liba PR, and Buva is one of our amazing clients, and I have the honor of just interviewing her again. Buva Shakti, she is the founder of Wallet Max, as well as the maitre d' and host and creator of Emerald Summit. Do you want to give everyone a little bit of insight about you, Buva?
Sure. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're just 4 days away. Our Emerald Summit is happening September 19th in New York City. Feel free to grab any last minute tickets. There are different types of options available. I'm also the creator of Emerald Summit, along with several monthly programs that we do from Wallet Max, predominantly bringing investors, startups, executives, as well as policy leaders and academia together. We are also very much excited today to talk about the membership program. We've been rolling that since 2018, and we've made some exciting changes today that we'll announce at the summit, and we can talk more about that as well.
I love that. I love evolution. I love it. Every time I talk to you, you're evolving with something amazing for the community. So I personally would love, what is the primary mission of the Planet Positive Hub membership?
Yeah, so most of what we have done is based on the feedback we get from our community members. So we do something, they ask something more, and then we kind of evolve that into a much bigger platform. Before we go into the Planet Positive Hub membership itself, I just wanted to give a quick background about myself. As everyone may know already, my journey started on Wall Street, where I spent several decades navigating most complex risk systems in global finance. I've seen the financial crisis, led it from ground up at ground zero to the rise of AI and fintech. But one thing that has been common across all of this is how can we turn risk into resilience? And that has also led me into venture capital, where there is more agility, where we can firsthand fund so many brilliant ideas that can scale and are able to also positively impact community, people, and countries. And Wallet Max is a bridge to that gap that we see today about how we can direct capital to community, how we can focus on more one on one connections and things of that sort. And with that, we are expanding the membership program into multiple options this year. We typically have a rolling basis of membership, but one of the feedback that I've heard in the last several months from our community is how can we create different options for different types of audiences, because we have a collaboration between academic leaders, policy experts, government and corporate executives, but also a lot of startups and investors. How can we kind of customize some of our offers and personalize our connections between each one of them? So that's where we thought we'll evolve Planet Positive Hub membership this year, where we'll bring not only just the day of Emerald Summit event programming, but additionally what you can do on that day and continue to take action and have the connection and conversation post the summit day. So there are various options available, which I'll talk a little bit later. But the goal is we meet at the summit, we take action. Whoever you meet at the summit, be it from any category or type of industry, how can you continue the conversation? Plus, also have exclusive offers and event discounts for going forward events, right? So many of them are repeat community members who come to every of our events and support us. So how can we take special care for them so that we can provide discounted options for future events as well?
Wow. I like that. And I do like the fact that I just looked at you have multiple options, even for academia. I mean, that's perfect because again, you are paving the path for the next generation. So thank you for including academia into the mix, Buva. That's great. That's
Thank
great.
you.
And since I mentioned that, who are the typical members of Planet Positive Hub at the moment, and what roles do they play?
Yeah, so the typical members are threefold. One, definitely our primary mission doesn't change, where we want to increase funding and fundraising access for growth stage startups doing positive innovations for people and planet. That could include startups that are focused on climate solutions, sustainable tech, fintech, which is also very important for inclusion, and AI. AI is everywhere, but for us, if AI doesn't provide fintech inclusion or climate sustainability, then AI is not part of our mix. So we'll have wide variety of startups making people and planet positive impact. We'll also have investors. So we need investors who can fund pre-seed, early stage angels all the way through late stage venture capital, as well as sometimes when you are beyond late stage, you can have private equity and family office funds. We do also have a lot of institutional investors and corporate investors coming in. So that's the second group of people you'll see in our community. The third group is definitely executives. So even though we have startups and investors, we need the backing of executives to mentor, advise, coach, and also scale some of these innovations, and also with support with institutional capital. So those are our three primary core audiences we'll see in the community. One of the feedbacks that we received was, what about academia?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of students that are launching startups that want to take venture capital as a pathway. They want to go into institutional investing, but focus also more on climate and sustainability. If we don't establish their pathways today, then how are they going to elevate and scale into the impact they want to do whenever they get there, right? We can't just expect them to have impact and innovation when they get there, but providing a pathway for them. So that's an additional membership type option we've added, not just for students, but also for professors or anyone in academia, because there are a lot of professors that are also driving some of the entrepreneurship and venture capital innovations within their universities. And last but not the least, we are a public benefit corporation from WalletMax as well. So we need to also embrace some of the nonprofits as well as NGOs like United Nations or World Economic Forum or similar, as well as PBC like us, so that they are part of the conversation. So the community is able to help elevate some of the funding challenges. So just to quickly summarize, we'll have startups, investors, academia, policy experts, as well as executives and nonprofits.
Wow. That's great. That's really great. And what I love about it, it is multifaceted too. It's definitely
Yeah,
multifaceted.
exactly. It's going to be a community that can collaborate and you can address the length, breadth, depth, all aspects, 360 degrees.
Yeah. So, what are the key benefits and differences between well, I know you changed it from basic to premium, but I know you do have a premium membership. What is the benefit of the top one?
Yeah, so one of the things what we have noticed is we do have a lot of podcasts. We do have monthly events. We do have virtual global events, hybrid events, in-person events. In addition to that, we have our flagship FinTech Week, Tech Week, and Climate Week events. One of the things our audience members and community have asked is, after we hear all the amazing talks, where can we relive them? So then you're going to have an exclusive membership option where you can relive the panels, make notes, reach audiences anytime and any number of times after the event is over. Same way for podcasts. So we have been talking to impact investors consistently, and we do have a wait list for 2026 also. So that's a good thing. So what are these investors trying to do? How are their trends and theses changing? You can get internal advice and diligence notes within the community. You may see the podcast on public channels, but then the actual diligence and thesis you'll hear in the community. And more importantly, like I mentioned earlier, we are establishing pathways. So pathways are not only for academia members, we have already had pathways for startups, investors, and executives already. We'll strengthen that also by connecting and making relevant matches between them so that the fundraising can happen faster. You can meet them at the summit, but then what are you going to do after you have met them? You need to establish those follow-up conversations and close the fundraising, right? So that's where the success
Yes.
lies. So those are some additional exclusive opportunities our premium and community members will receive. while we also will have exclusive opportunities for events and private dinners and private panels, because we also want to have a curated audience and for our community.
And you do a phenomenal job curating your dinners. I will say that the last two, I mean, the individuals that are in the room, there's so much depth there. So anyone, I would say, I would hopefully inspire anyone to just want to join, to be in these rooms. You never know who you may be talking to that could either fund or know someone to fund. Because again, I keep saying this with every live, you're always about, you have one ask and you have one give. That's like the ultimate Buva rule. And I feel like everyone should have that rule when you walk into a room.
Yeah, no, definitely. So one of the key things is we curate so much that we always get positive feedback from speakers on our audience. Typically, you get feedback on speakers from audience, but here our audience is also very much curated in the sense they are really wanting to be there, learn, network, collaborate, and taking notes, not scrolling through their phones, and always following up with the speakers and staying engaged consistently, event after event.
My goodness. And they do. And I will say the last event, everyone, that we had in April, the venue had to say it's time to go because everyone was just loving each other and just connecting more. And I feel like a deal even went down at one of the tables and the light was going. And I was like, okay, we have to go. But that's the type of event that Buva houses. And I feel like it's beautiful because some events that people do go to, you leave at the time that it ends. But I will say with a Wallet Max event, people don't want to leave. They want to continue. So Buva, you've done a phenomenal job with this. And everyone, I would advise you, if you're on this path, please look into joining her community because it's phenomenal. And I'm not just saying it because she's a client. I'm saying this because I've seen it firsthand, just people connecting. I'm just being authentic here.
You are
So
right. I mean, you're right. Every time I have a challenge trying to hand over the venue to the host and as well as to folks that have to really wrap up and clean up for the day. And it has always been a challenge because, I mean, we continue to talk network, but then we don't want to also leave. And that's one of the reasons we want this community to be something that you can rely on after you have left the event, right? So you can continue the
yes.
conversation, have one-on-ones and exclusive replays of everything that you have seen. So you can again take notes and meet up with each speaker separately.
Yes. So when do membership applications reopen?
Yeah, so the application membership for fall 2025 cohort is going to open on the day of the summit. So
Great.
during the summit, what you will see is there is going to be a lot of notes for you on digital monitors, on printed cards, in your swag bag as to how you can sign up. You can just kind of scan a simple QR code. It takes 2 minutes, submit a simple application. You see all the details on our website. And then we'll get back to you in 2 weeks. So the fall 2025 applications are open from September 19 to September 30. You can register as early as soon as you walk into the summit day or throughout the day, ask any one of our team members and continue to submit applications through end of September. Our fall cohort starts from October, November, December, and then we have a rolling application that's going on.
That's great. That's great. All right, everyone, if you're hearing, you hear this, I see you watching. I see several people here. So if this is what you would love to do, I hope you can make it to the Emerald Summit. It's going to be a phenomenal event. Phenomenal. September 19th is this Friday. So make sure that you're registering. You see the lower third right here, register Emerald Summit today. I'm telling you, it's going to be the best. Now, Buva, I would love to know some past notable successes of Planet Positive Hub that you can demonstrate.
Yeah, and you'll see and meet many of those people at our summit as well. So several startups that have pitched at our events have been able to close higher funding rounds up to few $1 million within 12 months. since last summit and this summit. And this is purely in climate space, and we are not looking at climate space that are not profitable. We are funding profitable and sustainable tech. So that's one good news that has happened. That's the most important mission that we have. How can we fund startups and scale them? Because it's not sufficient to fund them at early stage. At our events, we fund more growth at late stage. So that's one. The second thing is investors. So we think the startups are always shopping for investors. But as an impact investor myself, I am always shopping for the best startups out there. So instead of trying to find startups everywhere, if your focus is climate, sustainable tech, inclusion, and financial tech, as well as AI for good, then you can just come to the summit, look at all the startups that are pitching, and start investing. So you don't have to spend time searching, researching, do due diligence, because that's what we have done for you already. So all the startups you see on stage will be vetted and as well as will have some traction already. So they are investable right on the day. And additionally, you'll also see a lot of startups in the audience. So some of the things what we have seen is if some startup is going to fundraise next year, they are already attending this year to make investor connections and keeping the connection warm. You'll see many of them from our last several events and summit show up this year as well, because they see the value of repeatedly showing up. And what we don't do is we also don't duplicate things we have done in the past. So if you see all the events, all the talks, all the type of programs we have done, we've not repeated anything. Rather, we have enhanced it, replaced it, or kind of make it more advanced. So even if you attend 10 events, you're going to learn something new in every other event. And that's also happened this year, you'll see at the summit. So to summarize, key things that have happened is startups have fundraised late stage. Startups that have not planned to fundraise today are making connections and will fundraise next year. Thirdly, investors shop for curated due diligence complete startups on stage. So you don't have to try to shop around because you have funds that you have to deploy. And more importantly, we've connected so many executives with our startups so they can become board advisors, members, as well as coaches to try to help them to either expand their product operations or whatever challenge they have in their business.
Wow. Again, I really love this. I love the concept. I love that you've been doing this for just the community itself and multiple communities. So I do feel that even though it's a big umbrella, you have multiple industries coming in that can support each other.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like one size fits all. That's why we have different types of memberships, all the way starting from academia to corporate investors and executives. But also when you go into the community, you may need startup support, you may need mentorship or advisory support, or you could be an investor looking to do due diligence or build your pipeline. So there is something for everyone and you can choose your pathway.
That's great. And I love it too because you give people an opportunity to find a mentor. And I know we talked about this before, and not a mentor being, I don't have to have a female mentor. I can have a male mentor or vice versa. It's you're creating that space for someone to really find the person to help pave that path for them.
Yeah, exactly. So our community is open to all, membership is open to all, but that doesn't mean we are giving away our focus to help women like myself, because I've been through similar challenges, and also not taking our eyes off profits while we are supporting people and planet. So it's really important that you can find a mentor and maybe your pathway changes. So every 3 months, you can also find a different mentor just being in one community and one membership. You don't have to go find a different community or get a new membership.
Yes. Okay, so since we are talking about the community, but I really want to lead it into Emerald Summit, because the Emerald Summit, again, is only a couple days away. And I do feel that anyone that's watching right now, we should really touch on the agenda. I mean, the agenda it's pretty deep. So can you share some things from the agenda?
Yeah, I can go through a quick rundown of the full day agenda. You can also find it on our website, getwalletmax.com. But we start the day with a welcome keynote from myself to give you background of who we are as WalletMax and what our community is about. We will also share who we are helping to support, and we are also very transparent about who might not be a right fit for us, because it should feel a good fit for you, the community, as well as for everyone around us. So we start the day with a welcome keynote where I share about our community, a little bit about myself, and what are we trying to face as a challenge this climate week. Every year there are different themes, and I'm sure everyone understands this year is a very challenging year, but still we don't want to lose our focus, because if we lose focus on climate action, we'll be too late when the field is clear, and
Yeah.
that is not what we want, right? Then we go into fireside chats. We talk about how some of the corporations, as well as some of the fintech opportunities, can elevate capital for climate. Then we have multiple panels starting with circular economy. Circular economy is not just about how we can ensure things are recycled or repaired, but more importantly, talking about if there is innovation in sustainable fashion, as an example. Do we have enough waste management techniques? Do we have infrastructure and manufacturing plants that need to support circular economy to expand and thrive? So we'll talk about some real life examples there. Then we talk about climate resilience. I know all of us want to really aspire to help with mitigate and proactive solutions, but sometimes disaster happens. Are we ready to face the disaster with less damage to people's lives and also money, because the money could be spent proactively ahead before a disaster strikes than after trying to repair after a disaster? So we'll talk a lot about climate resilience, as well as how people and businesses can prepare themselves more proactively ahead and also be ready to face the challenge if a disaster strikes. Especially today, the frequency and severity is only increasing, and it's becoming very difficult to even predict some of these disasters, right? So how can we prepare ourselves? Then we are going to have lunch, networking, a lot of networking discussions around that time while you are taking a bite. Then we go into sustainable finance. Like I discussed earlier, we have a lot of opportunities for pre-seed and mid-stage startups. What happens if you are really scaling and growing? Especially climate solutions are capital intensive. For example, if you want to bring climate action to a big country or a big region or a big neighborhood, it takes a lot of money. So who can fund those startups and innovations that are in the late stage, going upwards of multi-million dollars, right? So we'll talk about that, especially how corporations, institutional investors can pitch in. Then our most exciting event of the day, which is the pitch competition. So we have 12 curated startups, all with traction, spread across climate, sustainable tech, fintech, inclusion, and AI. They'll be pitching to a panel of very high profile judges that are from venture capital, from New York City representation, UN, and other places, and also from the product space, because it's not just about investors and the policy. We also want industry experts in the panel. Then we go into renewable energy, because everywhere there is talk about clean energy and clean tech, but there is innovation, but we are unable to, again, like I said, scale it because we lack infrastructure or innovation to take it to the next state. As an example, if there is a solar project in New York City, it is still today very difficult to scale it to Texas or Colorado or California. So, how can we bridge that gap while we scale solutions so that you don't have to innovate in every corner of the country? Rather, innovation in one part of the country can scale very rapidly to all parts of the country. So, we'll talk about that in the renewable energy panel. And last but not the least, we end the day with two chefs who are locally Brooklyn based, sustainable small businesses that have been doing amazing things, respecting their culture, but also expanding their business using financial products and bringing more technology into their day to day business. Because small businesses, I know everyone says that they are small mom and pop shops, but more importantly, what I have seen is when a disaster strikes, they are in the front line of damage. And if they are in the front line of any disaster, then we should equip them much more than anyone else who's not as much in the front line as them. So we'll hear directly from two chefs in the restaurant industry based in Brooklyn, but globally based in terms of culture and inclusion. And then we end the day with announcing winners from our startup pitches and what are the next steps. And we close the day with how we can take action and continue to converse beyond the summit, leveraging community, right? So we end the day with that. And then, of course, we go into our evening dinner, which is for a small group of guests, where you can have one-on-one conversations with investors, executives, policy leaders, or startups. So if you've not signed up yet, feel free to sign up. There is a specific separate dinner ticket as well. Or you can buy a summit with dinner ticket, because dinner is going to be very exclusive. And you have 3 hours one-on-one with anyone who you want to talk to in a private space.
This is just, I mean, that's a powerful day. That's a very powerful day. And I would advise, because you know, certain summits, people come in and leave, but you just have so much going on throughout the day that I don't think anyone's going to want to leave.
Yeah, everything builds on top of each other. We're going to ensure that you are well nourished and fed. So feel free to
Yes.
just hang out, talk to people, listen to everything, take action, and end the day at a dinner with us. So just come, be present.
Yes. And that's one thing about your events. Anyone that attends, like your members or just it's like, yes, your members, anyone else that comes, all they do is just show up because everything is there for them. So, Buva, you have done a phenomenal job literally curating a community. So all your members have to do is show up. But I
Yeah,
always have an ask and always have a give, but they just have to show up. So,
yeah, always have an ask and a give. And definitely, it doesn't matter whether you are a member or not. If you choose to be a member, yeah, you have some exclusive benefits. But even if you're not a member, just show up and be present, and you'll see that it's going to be very inspiring.
yes, yes. So how can, again, I know it's right below, we have right here, anyone that wants to join us, please click the link below because Buva, we did add it there for everyone. And also, if you have any questions,
Thanks everyone for joining us. I think Tia has to drop off, but I'm going to share a little bit more about some of the speakers who will be joining us. So we have representation from the city, we have representation from the
yes, sorry everyone, I'm in a studio right now and their Wi-Fi went out. So technology, Buva, technology. So I went ahead and did my own hotspot. So like, why? So again, thank you, Buva, for sharing with everyone today. And also, I would love to say this. I feel so honored to be at the summit on Friday and just seeing you on the forefront and really paving the way for everyone and dropping a little nugget of your book. So do you want to tell everyone what your book's called again?
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that, Tia, and joining back. Yeah, technology is a challenge. And that's what I'm writing in my book, which is going to be about everyday risks. It may look like a small thing, but every day people are taking some risk, making decisions that are either life changing or even impacting their lives and businesses in a small way. So, my book is called Everyday Risk Wisdom. How can you take smart risks? How can you be proactive? How can you avoid reckless risks and make risk taking a fuel for growth be it whatever in your personal or professional lives you want to pursue, but not kind of step away from taking a risk, because if you don't take a risk or take action, you wouldn't know what the result is going to be. So I've done this for several decades, and I'm sharing all the lessons, blueprints, frameworks, worksheets, and skills in the book. So you don't have to redo everything that I went through, rather, just get started. And we'll see a quick preview of my book also at the summit.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. And everyone, what I love about Buva's book is she is launching on Women's History Month. Like, it's her story. It's March 2026. And then even better, right after that is Earth Day and about sustainability, April. So you are launching at the perfect time, Buva. I don't know how you did this. You always do. You always make things right on time. So thank you. Thank you for just conceiving this into the world so everyone will be able to just dive into your read. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Definitely. And we're going to have a lot of previews starting this summit through end of the year and early next year. So you know what's coming, and you're already taking some lessons in.
Yes, yes. Well, Buva, thank you so much for taking off the time today and giving everyone just a sneak peek of what to expect at the Emerald Summit. And again, everyone, to register, please register. Got to register by Thursday, right, Buva?
Yeah. So definitely, you will see networking is woven into every part of the day, starting from breakfast through lunch through dinner. There are multiple touch points to maximize connections, even the pitch competition, and also the small group private dinner. So there is networking built into the entire day. It's on September 19th, this Friday, one day, one community where capital meets solutions. And again, tickets are still open. Try to register as soon as possible so that you get in before it sells out, or we close the ticketing to prepare for the summit. And beyond the summit day, definitely check out our WalletMax website, getwalletmax.com. So all the conversations you start at the summit can still continue through our membership portal.
I'm so excited, everyone. I'm so excited. Well, I cannot wait to be there this Friday. Everyone, it's going to be wonderful, wonderful, and impactful. So, Buva, thank you again for your time. And do you have anything else that you would love to share?
No, the last thing is getwalletmax.com. Check out our summit agenda, connect with speakers ahead of the summit, come talk to them. They are there for the entire day, and check out our membership as well.
Yes. All right, everyone. We'll see you on Friday at 9 a.m. Thank you, Buva.
Thanks, Sia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. See you on Friday.